Is it easy to increase your credit limit? Yes, increasing your credit limit is an easy process if you follow the strategies that I'm going to share with you. My name is Rachel Esley, and on this channel you can find all things personal finance. When I first started using credit cards when I was about 20 years old or so, I had a Target store card with a credit limit of just $600. Years later, now I have over $100,000 of usable credit to my name and can qualify for more. And this is not including business credit and potential mortgage and loan credit. I'm not saying this to brag, but to show you that if you apply the tips that I'm going to share with you, you can increase your limit too. And if you do nothing, you'll get nowhere. So let's get into it. Why would you want a higher credit limit anyway? Well, there's many benefits to increasing your credit limit, and one of the main benefits is more purchasing power. This can mean in the long run, you can have a higher budget for a car or a house. It can also mean more opportunities when investing, such as investing in a business or whatever investment opportunity is in front of you, which then can help you build generational wealth. Also, credit cards offer reward points and cash back, which is something that a debit card doesn't. By increasing your credit limit, you're decreasing your credit utilization. And when you have lower credit utilization, you have a higher credit score. And when you have a higher credit score, then you're more likely to get approved for better cards that have better rewards and benefits. This is how people get to travel the world for free using their credit card points that they earn from everyday purchases they were spending on anyway. Before we get into the ways on how you can ask for a credit limit increase, let's go over some scenarios in which you would want to ask for one. One would be an increase in your income. If you got a raise at work or started making more money, more income streams, then it could be a good time to ask for that credit line increase. When you have a higher income, you're showing the card issuers that you have the capability of paying back a higher credit line. Another reason would be if you have a higher credit score. If you've been diligently working on increasing your credit score, perhaps you've been watching the videos on this channel and applying the tips and your credit score has gone up, then it could be a good time to apply for that credit limit increase. It's best to wait until your score is around 690 or higher before you ask, and make sure that you've had the card for at least 6 months. Another good time to apply for a credit limit increase is if you have an investment opportunity ahead of you, such as a business, or maybe you want to buy real estate in a year or so. It's not recommended to open a credit card right before you apply for a mortgage, but if you strategically plan this, then it can be beneficial. While yes, you can invest in a business on a credit card, you can't invest in a house on a credit card necessarily, but by having a higher credit limit with your credit cards, you're showing mortgage lenders that you can handle a higher mortgage limit. Be sure to be careful and responsible though. Getting a higher credit limit to get into more bad debt and frivolous spending and buying things that you don't need is never a good idea. Here are some things to ensure when applying for a credit limit increase. Be sure to first check your credit report and make sure that everything's in order. Make sure that there's no mistakes or anything that you need to clean up. The card issuers are going to be looking at this history, so it's best that you are not surprised by anything. You can check your official free report once per year. You can go on annualcreditreport.com and do this. You also want to make sure that you update your records with the bank when it comes to your address, when it comes to how much money you make each month or each year, how much your rent or your mortgage is. If your information isn't up to date with the bank, then you're more likely to get declined for the credit limit increase and get a ding to your credit score. Here are some tips to dramatically increase your credit limit. One of the ways is by keeping your credit utilization low. Keeping your credit utilization below 10% will help increase your credit score, and then that can help increase your credit limit. If you have cards that are maxed out, then your chances of getting a credit line increase are going to go down, and it doesn't matter if these cards are with a different bank. The credit card issuers are going to see all your credit cards, so be sure not to have maxed out cards. Try to keep it below 10%. Also make sure that you have no late payments. Make sure that you're paying your bills on time. Not just your credit card payments, but also your utility bills. The next thing is to be patient. You don't want to ask for a credit limit increase right after you receive the card because you're likely to get declined. Wait at least 6 months. If it's been less than 6 months and you would like more credit, it's better to apply for a brand new card. Another benefit of being patient is that the card issuer might increase your credit limit without you even asking. Can a credit limit increase drop your credit score? Well, when you request a credit limit increase, then the card issuers may do a hard inquiry or a soft inquiry on your credit report. A hard inquiry will drop your credit score a bit temporarily, but the benefits of having the higher utilization can outweigh the hard inquiry. But if you have that hard inquiry and then you don't get approved for the credit limit increase, then it's going to bring your credit score down a bit. So this is why it's better to be prepared and confident that you have everything in order before asking for the credit limit increase. And if you're not sure you're going to get approved, then you might want to ask for a new card instead. And something you can do with a new card is move credit from one card onto another card. So for instance, let's say you have a credit card with Chase Bank with a $5,000 limit, and then you get a new card with a $4,000 limit. You can call up the bank and ask them to move, let's say $3,000 from the first card onto the new card, and now your new card would have an $8,000 limit. And this might come in handy if you are taking advantage of sign-up bonuses and 0% APR for the first 12 months. But if you are confident that the banks will approve your increase request, then you can do this either online, over the phone, or in person. Doing this online is very fast. Oftentimes it's just an instant approval. Same with on the phone and in person, although when you do this on the phone or in person, you get to work with a representative. Just be prepared to answer their questions and don't tell them that you're looking for the increase so you can rack up more debt. Tell them you want the increase so you can utilize the benefits. It's also important to note that if you haven't been using the card, then you're less likely to get the increase approved. If you want an increase on a card, be sure to start using it, even if it's just a little bit every month, putting some charges on it every month and paying it off every month. If your credit line increase request is denied, then the card issuer will usually tell you why. And then you can work on resolving that issue and reapplying, although you might want to wait 6 months before reapplying. You can also call the card issuer's reconsideration line and speak to somebody and work with them and let them know that you've resolved the issues. Oftentimes the issues are that your credit score isn't high enough, you have late payments, you're not using the card, or your information isn't up to date, and a variety of other reasons. And if you don't get any information mailed to you about why it wasn't approved, then I would also recommend calling that reconsideration line and talking to somebody. So you can just Google whatever card issuer it is, like Chase reconsideration line. Be sure to never overcharge on your credit card, max out your card, and go over the limit. You'll be charged with a ton of fees and interest, and then it's gonna lower your credit score. I think a good rule of thumb to follow is don't use a credit card unless you actually have the money in the bank to pay it off that month. Getting a credit limit increase has many benefits, especially when it comes to increasing your credit score, giving you more purchasing power, and having the future ability to get approved for better credit cards, better loans, and set you up for better investment opportunities, which can help you grow generational wealth. If your credit limit is, let's say, $1,000, but you have $3,000 of purchases every month, you definitely want to get more credit so you can put those charges on the credit card and get those rewards. Let me know in the comments below which of these tips you're going to try, and be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.